Good morning, everybody. This is Tom Gripe. Hopefully you're hearing me. This is my first venture into one of these meeting chat rooms, so forgive me if I'm technologically a little ignorant on this. But as I said in my opening remarks, the big thing we're finding, and I think you're seeing this too, is how do we get the PPP loan funded properly, and how can I keep the business open for the next couple weeks or months? And rather than me go into a diatribe, let me just open and ask you guys to ask questions, and I'll do my best to answer them. Go ahead.
Hi, Tom.
Hi there, can you hear me?
Yeah. How are you doing?
Good. Who's this?
This is Hetty and Ethan Denolf of Denolf Barbershop. So I guess as a small business, we're just feeling really overwhelmed, and I feel like we've been applying for everything, and I mean, not even getting confirmation back that we've applied. And obviously I understand that all the systems are getting overloaded and inundated with requests, but I guess, I don't know. I'm trying not to read all of the articles, but I did read one yesterday that said all of the money for the small business has already been used. You know, what was it, 49 or 39, $million or whatever, $1 billion, it's like, it's gone already. So I feel like we're just kind of lost and don't even know where to start now.
What kind of business are you guys?
Denolf's Barbershop, downtown on South Michigan.
Got it. And you have employees, paid employees?
We have, they're subcontractors.
Okay, 1099s?
What's up?
They're 1099 folks?
Yeah, 1099 miscellaneous, yeah.
Okay, do you pay yourself on a W-2, or you just run it through Schedule C, self-employment deal?
Schedule C, but I think I was talking to my bookkeeper a few months ago. I think we might switch it over to a W-2 just to save money on not paying taxes twice. So,
right. Okay, well, you know that you cannot file a PPP loan for those independent contractors. They got to do it themselves, but you can do it for you. Okay, so there's a process. You're working off your Schedule C from your last year's tax return, and once you get in with a bank, they'll walk you through that process. Let me just kind of calm your ears on what's going on. Here's the deal. Okay, the money that the SBA was given by Congress is gone. It's all spent. Okay, that's not good, but it's not horrible because they're going to issue more. Okay, the Democrats and the Republicans are doing their normal shim sham, and eventually they're going to sign probably about 200 to 250, maybe 300 billion in more money. Okay, so in a sense, it's good because you have a crack at getting in on the second wave. Okay, so what you got to do is pick a financial institution. We can do it, but anybody. Okay, and you got to get in their queue. Okay, you got to get in there so that you can fill your paperwork out, so that when the SBA opens up, they can give you an SBA guarantee number. Okay, that's the golden ticket. All right. Now, for us, what it means is you have to fill out a borrower app, and there's some other stuff, but we'll give you all that. For us, you got to fill it out completely. You send it in to us, and right now, what happens? It goes into a queue. And then as soon as the SBA gets the money, we have guys going to work 24/7 to put in that information and reserve your money. Okay. Once you have that golden ticket, you're set. What we then do after that is make sure we have the supporting documentation and we prepare the loan docs and all that. That may take a couple days. and then we send you the docs, you sign it, and then you get your loan. Okay. But truly, you know, I'm a kind of guy who likes to get to the critical points. The thing you got to get to is that SBA guarantee number, which is the first step of the process. Once you have that, you can kind of relax. Okay. So if you want to use us, go to NotreDameFCU.com/PPP. Makes sense, right? There's a little, it's a little enrollment form, for lack of a better term. Okay. You put that in, you send it in. We'll automatically send you back a worksheet, what the borrower app is. Okay. And you start working on that. And then one of our guys will call you as quick as they can. Now, that's not going to be overnight because we've got, I think this morning I looked, we have about 600 people in the queue. That's okay, though, because we got time. You get your paperwork ready to go, okay? And then when it comes time, we can pop that in pretty quick, right? So the PPP loan's important because it's going to buy you time for 8 weeks. But after 8 weeks, all bets are off. And this is what I'm telling a lot of small business people. It's better than nothing, but it doesn't solve the problem. It kicks the can for 8 weeks, okay? Now, 8 weeks is better than nothing. So use it to your benefit. But I encourage you guys to think about what happens after 2 months, right? What can you do? Because with a barbershop, you can't even open, can you?
No.
It's ridiculous. Man, my bald head is even growing hair. Anyway, they've got to open that stuff up. And then you just, you know, you hit it the best you can. And you just hunker down, you know, control your expenses right now and hope that things open up in the next 8 weeks. But you're doing the right thing now. You're getting a loan that'll be forgiven. And, you know, and that solves your immediate problem. But don't just go into debt for the sake of going into debt when you have to pay it back. Because God forbid, if this whole thing turns into be a mess, all right, you don't want to have a bunch of loans that you're going to have to pay off that aren't forgiven. The PPP loan's a forgiven loan that you're going to be stuck with, okay? So be careful about non-forgivable loans, okay? So that help?
Yeah, I guess, you know, I don't want to sound like such a pessimist or a realist or anything because I am an optimist, but I mean, so let's say we get in the queue, we get the guarantee number and we're waiting, but what we are essentially waiting on is we're waiting for Congress to pass another round that who knows how long that could take. And then of course we are going to be 600 or 700th in line for this bank, where at banks all around the country, there are also people in line already too, right?
Yes, but it's not as onerous as okay. The Congress will probably pass the bill within a week. And I don't know, I'm just guessing, right? But I'm telling you, we're all calling our congressmen and senators, and they're getting an earful. So they're going to sober up here and get the job done, right? And don't be worried about the 600 or the 300 or the 200. Don't worry about that. You finish the paperwork. You finish that borrower app and you prepare those docs and you get it in, okay? And then let me do my job, okay? I got 190 people at the credit union, right? Trust me, we've restructured this thing top to bottom, okay? The little hair I have is falling out, okay? So you get us the stuff and we're gonna get that number for you, all right? That's what credit unions do, all right? We're rolling here. And are you a member right now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Personal and business.
Okay, perfect. So you don't even have to open up a membership. So we'll get banging away at it right away. Okay. But then as a business person, you just have to say, all right, how do I survive 3 months and 6 months? You know, part of it is to talk to your landlord, right? Or you think about where your expenses are that may go beyond 2 months, you know, and you start talking to them. Not right now, because this money will cover you, but you need to be thinking about that because everybody's in your boat. This is the good thing. You know, the thing that's keeping you up at night is keeping every American up at night. So you're not alone. Okay. So take some comfort in that. And you'll get through it. I'll get through it. We'll all get through it. So just don't get depressed, stay positive, and just learn from it, right? You'll learn more about your business. You'll learn more about how you run your life. I don't want to get too philosophical here, but you know, you guys know. Carry on.
Thank you.
Okay. Is it anybody else?
Good morning, Tom.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yep. So I'm more inquiring for relatives that are small business owners in the restaurant area, and so many of them don't know how to approach, you know, the steps they need to take for the PPP loan, or you know, I'm reading here a little bit on the what is it, the EIDL loan
Right.
also. Yep. So I guess you know, I'm more of a translator and communicator for them. And when I say relatives, you know, there's a significant amount, at least half a dozen or more, that are small business restaurant owners in the South Bend, in the Michigan area, you know, Michigan City, Walkerton, Indiana.
So do you have a question, or well, how can I help you?
So, well, the question is, you know, they don't know where to start. So, you know, applying for these loans.
Okay. Well, the EIDL that you're doing is a direct loan to the SBA. So you're on the website now. You fill that out. It's pretty self-explanatory. You send it in, and they'll take care of you there. Okay. The PPP loan, as I was telling those other guys, is you have to go through your bank or credit union. So let's assume you're going to go through me. The first thing you do is you go to NotreDameFCU.com/PPP. Okay. And there's a little web enrollment sheet. Okay. Have your guys fill that out, hit submit. Okay. What'll happen is immediately you'll get a thank you note back. It's auto generated, right? And it'll say, here's the borrower application you need to fill out, and here's a check sheet of stuff you need. Get your guys to start assembling that. Think about it like building a little loan package, okay? And help them fill that out. The thing that's really, really critical is making sure the borrower application is completely filled out and signed on the back. If you leave anything out, the whole thing blows up and we cannot process, okay? Because the SBA has said to us, unless that borrower app is filled top to bottom, nothing is skipped, we lose our SBA guarantee and nobody's going to do that. So get them to fill the whole thing out. When that's in, you could either send it back via the return email that you got, you know, send it back to the sender, or wait for one of our guys to call you.
Okay.
And as I told the people before, you go into a queue, all right? Yeah. And that queue is really just waiting for the SBA to open the window, the funding window. In the meantime, we look through all that stuff and make sure it's right. And then the ball's in our court. What we do then is go online, get you your SBA number, which I said to the other folks is your golden ticket. And then you know you got your money. Then what we do, we kind of work backwards and fill in the gaps to make sure you give us the right supporting documents and wiring instructions, or if they're a member, what account they want to put the money in. And then we just process the loan. You know, for restaurants, and again, I said it to these other folks, I'm going to say it to you too. If you're advising them or helping them translate or whatever, tell them that the real challenge is going to be, how are they going to run their business after the 8 weeks? All this is doing is buying them okay? But the world's going to be different. So time to have an opportunity. After the 2 months, business is not going to return to normal. And that's what they really got to be focused on. I like my expenses low and bring it up slowly as my business returns.
All right. Well, I appreciate everything. Some of that was hard to hear because somebody was unmuted and there's a lot of background noise.
Okay.
But I got most of it. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time.
Anybody else? Trust me, you don't want to hear one of my my monologues. I can really start pontificating, so you don't want that.
Hi, Tom. Good morning. This is Susan from Megaplay. Hi. You guys have been helping me out, and I'm sorry. I'm going between people here, so I might be repeating questions that you guys have already heard. One, can small businesses apply to multiple institutions?
No, and let me explain why. Okay, for this PPP loan, you mean?
Yes.
Okay, here's what happened. When the magic step in the process, as I was telling these other guys, is getting the SBA guarantee number. Okay, that's the magic thing. Okay? So you can apply to meet with me and First Source and everybody else, right? And you can do that. You fill out the paperwork out. But once whoever is first in line to get in there and submit that stuff freezes you out from everybody else. Okay, because the SBA system only pays to one entity. Okay, so what I'm saying is that pick somebody that you trust. Okay, and just ride that horse.
Great.
What's the matter?
Well, no, because the first PPA I put through was to PNC Bank. And we're not going to go there. That's who I banked with. That's who I bank with at this point. When I spoke with some other business owners in the area, they were like, well, have you tried Notre Dame Credit Union? Have you tried First Source? I was like, okay, well, what's it going to hurt? So I have. I've started that process with both you and First Source. And I think her name is Tina, has been in contact with me and has been going through what I needed to put together. But if that's now the case, then all of that is moot. If my application at PNC locked me out, what good is it for me to even?
Well, here's the part we don't know. They may have not even gotten you your SBA number yet.
Well, I know that to be a fact.
Okay, then it's still wide open.
Oh, okay. So now it's a race to find somebody who can, well, wait a minute, all the money's gone.
Yes. However, yes, all the money's gone. And if we didn't know from watching television and listening to everybody that there was going to be more money coming, I'd tell you game over, forget it. But there's more money coming. There's about another 250 billion coming. So now's the time to get all your stuff together. Make sure it's complete. I cannot tell you how many applications we've got, and they're not complete. Make sure it's complete and send it in. And then I don't know how First Source is doing it. I can just speak to us. If you give me a completed application and the support stuff, okay, and you know what that is because I sent you the sheet, okay. Yeah. Once that window opens, all these apps are in a queue for us. And we're going to mobilize the Prussian army to get online and start putting this stuff in. No, seriously, that's what we do for our members, okay? So hang it out, all right? So if you're comfortable with First Source, stay with them. If you're comfortable with me, I would just success out of courtesy to these other guys, send them an email and tell them to forget it, drop out. Because you don't want them doing extra work for nothing, just like I wouldn't want you to do it with me if you were going to go with somebody else.
Right, because NDFU was the first one to come back to me almost immediately. I put the email out, or not the email, but I put out the parcels, and Notre Dame came back to me less than 24 hours. You guys were back online with me and going, Susan, this is what you forgot to give to us, and here's some extra stuff that you need to get to us. Because I'm actually part of I'm Megaplay, but I'm part of CNP Distributing and Data Cruise. And so, it was my oldest brother that came back to me from Big Idea and said, wait a minute, you need to get to Notre Dame. And I was just so shocked at how quickly you guys got back to me and said, this is what you need, get this information to us. And I'm like, yay, okay. So I can tell PNC, go
just say you found another option.
Be nice. Be nice. And that works. And I'm working with First Source on a whole another issue. So it's the connection was there. And so, but I'll let you know, look, leave it alone. I'm going to work with Notre Dame and see what can be done at least there.
Okay, can I tell you something? This is important. If this business or some of your other businesses do not bank with Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, don't worry about it. There are some financial institutions out there that are saying, we're only going to do business with you if you currently are a member or you're going to do business. We're not going to extort you, okay? We're going to help you, and if good old Catholic guilt doesn't get you, then
It did. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's horrible for the rest of Lent.
that's it.
It's horrible. But anyway.
All right.
Yeah. I
Hey,
think
Tom.
we covered everything.
What's that?
I had one other quick question. I'm sorry, Susan. So we emailed, we already got the email back from you guys for the checklist. And so I just have, I think another problem that we've been running into that I forgot to ask you was, so our business just opened up in September of 2019. So, and obviously a new business, the first couple months were slow going, and we were at like full operation and we're making, the most money in January and February of this year. So when I'm looking at the second item on the checklist and it's talking about 2019 IRS quarterly stuff, we don't have it. And so I feel like some of the other things, because we're a barber shop and we get differently, and like our whole system's just different. Like there isn't things like PTO and stuff like that. So I guess how strict do we need to follow these guidelines here? And if we don't have something, is that going to hinder our application?
No, because in the rules, they say if you started sometime in 2019, you can still apply as long as you were in business. I don't know if it's as of the middle of February or the end of February of 2020, which you guys were.
Yes.
Okay. So what you do in those situations is you just use your best fair guess of what you've done over a period of time, for the last couple months.
Yeah, we have that.
Okay.
And then you extrapolate that out.
Okay.
It was sad because I had to turn somebody away the other day because they just started in March. It was terrible. It just opened up and the bottom fell out. But anyway, you're not in that boat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Hey, Tom. Tom? I don't know, Tom?
Yes, sir.
Hi, it's, hi, Peter Stone. How are you? Hi, thank you for your participation today and also having you supporting small businesses is so meaningful. I do have a couple of points that I'd like to make with you, if I might. First of all, do I understand that the Ruth Chris Steakhouses received $20 million under the PPP program, which is contrary to my understanding of the guidelines? Are you aware of that, or don't know?
No, I got my own battle.
Okay, well, maybe it would be interesting I did look it up, Googled it, and apparently they did receive. Now, I don't understand how they could possibly qualify, and they're taking money away from the rest of us in a very strange way. The other question I ask, and maybe you've covered this, what have the funds been distributed to you, the banker, and then you allocate the funds, or have those funds not been released yet to the banks?
Okay, here's how now for the group, this is kind of, I'm letting you look behind the curtain. Okay, this is my world in the banking world. We fund your loans with our own money. Okay, our own money. And we can go and borrow money from the Federal Reserve and get money to do that.
Right.
So we have funds to do it. Okay, the SBA isn't giving us money to lend. However, they're giving us access to low-cost money that we can borrow to do it. Once we get to the end of the 8 weeks, and then by then the second phase starts, which is where all of you guys have to give us documentation to get the loan forgiveness. Then what happens is we send that information to the SBA, and then they send us the money to pay off the loan. So the SBA isn't passing out money right now. They're just allocating guarantees, which is effectively the same thing.
Okay, and I appreciate that. And also on the disaster loans, rather than the payroll loan, the forms, have they been updated, or are they still primarily focused on physical disasters of buildings, weather events, and so forth? The forms that I started with on the disaster loans that were not, in my understanding, appropriate to the COVID-19 disaster.
I got to be honest with you. Because those loans are directly with the SBA, I've only studied them in a cursory way, okay? I know that if you go to sba.gov and click on EID, I think it's called the EIDL loan, that's the one you're talking about. Whatever it is, it's there. I wish I could help you there. I just
Yeah, I wish you could do it for me. Hey, Tom, one last thing. Now, we're looking at our application for the payroll loan, and the response we're getting is, we are not able to provide your application status at this time. Please check back later. How do you interpret that?
Is that from us or from somebody else?
That's from somebody else.
Okay. I can tell you what's happening for most financial institutions. It's just a big mess. It's just a big mess because it's coming in and they're trying to sort everything out. The thing you really want to know is, have I gotten my SBA guarantee number yet? Okay. My guess is for most people, they have not. Okay. That's what I'm guessing, because you would have heard something by now if you have. So
right.
So they're just trying to sort it out because so many banks have just let all this stuff pour in, and now they're digging through the pile.
Right.
Right. So really, there's no insight other than they just don't know and they're buried.
But what they did give us is a confirmation number that the application has been submitted. I guess that's as close as we're getting. It's been, 10 days or so since we submitted it. But anyway, you've been great, and it's nice to see you again. And take care of yourself. Stay healthy. There's one more. Oops, my wife is Elaine is here. Go ahead, Elaine.
We received when I went on the page to check on our site, on our loan, right at the top of the site, it says important update. Today, the SBA announced on its website that it's unable to accept new applications for the PPP program because the authorized funding has been fully allocated. Additional information is provided below. But I'm just wondering, is that including us? We already put our application in, so.
Good question.
Yeah.
The answer is you don't know. Okay. Think about this. You put your application in, us bankers do our magic, right? And then once everything's together, we sit down and we go into a portal to the SBA and we get an SBA guarantee number for your loan.
Then Notre Dame will get the money back from.
That is your, could somebody, could you mute that, please?
What's that?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. So what you don't know is that, did you get in through the gate before the gate closed?
Yeah, we did, but we.
Well, you don't know that.
We don't know. You're right. We don't know.
You got a confirmation that they received it. What you don't know is, did you get the SBA number?
Okay. No.
So no, that probably. My guess is that if you have an SBA number, they would have told you. Okay. If they didn't, you're somewhere in the queue waiting for the gate to reopen, which should hopefully next week.
We're going to send you to Congress, Tom. Get this thing done.
Oh, God.
Well, thank you, Tom.
Thanks, Tom. Take care. God
Right.
bless.
All right. All right. Anybody else?
Trying to unmute it. Hello?
Hi there.
Hi, my name is Nancy Wessler. I own the original Pancake House on Ironwood.
Hi, Nancy.
Hey, we've been around since 1962, so we have a longevity of business here. My question is, I understand that to fill out an application through Notre Dame for a small loan, and then you would get your money back through small business.
You know about
Is that-
the PPP loan?
Okay. How do I get the application for Notre Dame?
Okay. You go to NotreDameFCU.com/PPP.
One more time.
Okay. NotreDameFCU.com, then the / and then 3 P's, PPP.
PPP. Okay, great. And
And
I
what-
get that application. Go ahead.
Okay, so when you get that, Nance, what you do is you have to register. It's like a little portal, okay? Your name and, all that kind of simple stuff, okay? You hit submit, and what immediately happen is you'll get an auto response from us saying, we got it, thank you, and here are some documents that you need. That's what you're looking for, okay? In there will be a check sheet of all the stuff you guys have to pull together. And then there's a borrower application. Okay, that borrower application, when you look at it, you can tell it's an SBA document. Okay, do that first. Okay, that's critical. And make sure you complete it top to bottom. Don't miss anything. Make sure you complete it and all that. Okay, once you have all that done, assemble it with the other stuff. And now you have two choices. You can wait because we've got a bunch of lenders that will reach out to you and call you. Or if you have it done already, just scan it, make it a single PDF, and email it back to the email that we sent to you. Because the automatic acknowledgement comes from a particular website called SBAPPP@NotreDameFCU.com. Okay, so if you send that back, then we'll give it to a lender and be off to the races. And then, Nancy, you're in a waiting game. Okay. Because now the money's gone right now, they're going to reopen it. But what we're doing, and I think other banks are doing this too, we're aggressively going out to people like you who are members or not members, doesn't matter, okay, helping you pull it all together. And then we're getting you in line to apply so that we can apply for you to get that SBA number. We got like a queue, but you got to have that borrower application completely done. Now, as soon as that window opens, and I told this to somebody else a few minutes ago, we've got scores of people that are going to work nights and evenings, weekends, putting in those numbers to make sure we can lock in that SBA guarantee number. Because in the grand scheme of things, as we talk about this whole process, the golden ticket for you is to get the SBA guarantee number. Once you have that, that means the SBA has allocated money for you. Then the onus is back on us, knowing that you already have the money, to fill out a loan documents and fill all that stuff out and get you to sign it, and where do you want the money to go and all that kind of. And that may take a couple days, but the key part is be first in line, or before they open the gate the second time, to get that money. Now, here's what's also important: if you're not a member of the credit union right now, it does not matter. Some financial institutions say you have to be a customer already or blah, blah, blah. We're not going to hold you hostage, okay? We're here to help you. So if you bank at First Source or TCO or wherever, don't feel like you have to open up an account with us right now. We'd like you to, but we're certainly not going to blackmail you to do it, okay? So part of that, why I say that, is at the end, if you say, my account's at First Source, I'll say, give me your wiring instructions, and we'll wire the money to First Source, and you can come back once the guilt gets to you.
Good, Catholic guilt. I love it. Yeah. Yeah, amen.
Did that answer your question?
It did. Thank you so much.
All righty.
And,
Hang in there.
Mike, do you have a question?
No, I'm
No?
good.
Okay. All right then. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right. Bye-bye.
Hey, anybody else? I think you guys have to kill your video. There we go.
Sir, hello. I just arrived.
Okay. Who's this?
Hi, Tim Whiterquist. I'm a small real estate developer. I have 25 homes that I've purchased in foreclosure and renovated to residents. And I have a team of guys that work with me renovating. And it's harder to do that now when people aren't all able to pay their rent. So I want a PPP loan. I've got a local bank that I've applied with, but they are so overwhelmed. They don't answer the phone. They did have some guy call me once, but he wasn't able to answer. Even I asked, am I now applied? Have I made an application? Because I was thinking of applying somewhere else, and he just, no, zero information. Just called, read off a worksheet, and I answered questions.
Well,
So I kind of want to dump them.
ask
Would that be unwise?
It depends. You know, as I was telling somebody else, you know, every bank is doing their best to kind of get it together and help you guys. And don't feel too bad. You know, don't blame them too hard by not returning their calls. Everybody is just swamped. Okay. Now, what I don't want people to do is to apply for these loans across multiple banks. It creates so much work. I like that. Please mute here.
Sorry about that.
All right. So, you know, pick somebody that you're comfortable with. All right. And just get engaged and move forward. If you haven't gotten your SBA number yet from your bank, or your bank hasn't told you that, and all you really did is send your stuff in, all right,
Yeah.
we would be happy to help you. But we would ask you to first contact that bank and tell them to cancel your application, all right? Because what happens is the race, you know, think of it as a couple steps. There's two steps. The first step is you send in your application, and in that is a borrower application and some other stuff, okay? That's step one. You send that to the bank. You send it to us in this case. We then take that and put into a portal at the SBA information to give me a guarantee for your loan, okay? Once we get that guarantee for your loan with your social or your EIN number, everybody else is blocked out. So you can't get money from us and from then another bank and another bank, because they're not going to be able to get you an SBA number. Or
Yes.
the other way is that if we go in to put in your stuff and it says Tim's already got, you know, he's already applied, then we've wasted all that time. So that's why I say, you know, pick one horse and ride it, okay? And then once you get that number, then we work together like a regular loan that we do, you know, car loan or whatever. We go through the process of making sure the documentation is correct and all that kind of jazz. And then we send you the docs and away you go. So the magic thing is make sure your application is complete, right? And you get with somebody who's going to give you a high probability of getting to that SBA window faster than somebody else. How can you determine that? I don't know. You know, I'd like to think smaller the better, but a lot of it just has to do with who you feel the most comfortable with.
Okay. You say you'd work with me if I notify my bank that I want them to cancel my application, and they're not answering the phone. So if I just send them an email, I'm not sure that they'll drop this. Maybe I just got to be patient for a little while till I talk to this bank.
Which bank is it?
Fifth Third.
They're big. The problem is the bigger the institution, the deeper you are in the pile.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I think if you move fast, now this is, I shouldn't say this because it can create more work for my team if it all blows up. But if you want to work with us, just make sure you fill all the stuff in and get it in. Okay. And my guess, and only because they're bigger, they're not a bad bank at all, but they have a bigger bureaucracy. Our pile is smaller than their pile.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then we'll do our best for you. That's what I mean. It's a gamble right now.
And where should I get a application from the ND Federal Credit Union site, or where should I go next?
Here's how you do it, Tim. You go to NotreDameFCU.com, then /PPP.
Okay, I can do that.
And what'll pop up is a little window, like a little, enrollment sheet, real simple, name, address, that kind of jazz. Fill that in and hit submit. Okay. What'll happen is you'll get an automatic response back that says, thank you for submitting, and a bunch of other stuff. But attached to that will be a packet of information. That's what you need. Okay. In it will be a borrower application. And when you look at it, it'll look like an SBA form, because it is. But that's really important. And then it'll also say the other supporting documents that you need. Fill that borrower application out as quickly as you can, and make sure it's complete, because if you miss one thing on there, then we have to reject the application. Okay. Then what you do is, scan the whole package together. All right. And submit it. I would say you got one or two things. You can wait for one of our lenders to call you, and they're doing a pretty quick turn. But if you want to just jump ahead of that, you can just email it to to the email that sent you the welcoming email, which is SBA PPP, 6 letters, SBA PPP at NotreDameFCU.com. And then that goes back to the team, and then that'll actually get assigned to a lender and maybe move you ahead just incrementally. Make sense?
Yes.
Hey, one of the things to be careful of in your business, you probably know this, but you can only ask for payroll reimbursement for your W-2 employees. If they're 1099s, you cannot count them. They have to do it on their own.
Got it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, brother. Good luck.
Thank you very much, sir.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Hey, Peter, can you shut off your camera? Right. Anybody else? No? Okay, until somebody else jumps in, I'm going to give you a little pontification on what I would do if I was a small business person, which I am, by the way, but I'll share this with you, is that it's real important that you get this PPP loan to cover your expenses for the next 8 weeks. But understand that it's only for 8 weeks. This buys you time. It kicks the can. It does not solve your problem as a small business person. And you're in the same boat as everybody else in the country. So I strongly encourage you to think about what's going to happen the morning of the day after the 8 weeks. Do not expect your business to come back as strongly and as quickly as we all hope. Assume that it might be dead for a while and slowly pick up. You need to be thinking about how you're going to manage through that phase, because the government doesn't have the money to carry us all through for the next year. It's just for the first 8 weeks. So spend a lot of time thinking about that. Okay. The process that we're talking about here is just a bureaucratic mess. You know, send this in, get that, do this, do that. You know, my guess is at the end of the day, everybody will get their 8 weeks of money. That's my guess. I don't know. But what really matters is, what about my restaurant? What about my barber shop? What about my floral shop, right? What am I gonna do? How am I gonna do that? A lot of it, to be honest with you, requires hunkering down. That's the term my dad uses, hunkering down. You know, save your money. Don't make foolish expenses. Cut way back. Think about cable bills and cell phones and all the things that we took for granted that were part of our overhead. Get ready to talk to your landlords if you're really going to be stuck, because you'll be expected to pay rent after those 2 weeks or those 2 months. Don't talk to them now about it. Those people are panicking like you are and I am. Okay. So I would ask you to just think about that and ask them for some help. My guess is that they'll be very accommodating, but you have to do your share. You have to be prepared, and you have to have a plan. Okay, because the challenge is going to be, how are you going to survive for the next 12 months? Not 2 months, 12 months. Okay, it's a brave new world, folks. Brave new world. I can tell you, in the credit union world and the banking world, you know, we are girding our loins, waiting for a huge wave of delinquencies and charge-offs. It's just going to happen. You know, half of Elkhart County just got laid off. So it's going to be tough for everybody. Nobody's immune. Nobody is, you know, sitting back enjoying it. It's going to be painful for every one of us. Anybody there?
Hello, how are you?
Wonderful. Who's this?
This is David Moss, and I'm involved with a local trucking company.
Okay.
One of our employees has an account with your bank, and I'm wondering, how do we leverage his membership into some small business things we might want to do?
No, there's no leverage. I mean, we're not holding anybody hostage. David, if you want to get a PPP loan, go to the website NotreDameFCU.com/PPP and apply. All right. We'll help you get that, and we will not put a gun to your head and force you to move your banking to us or do any kind of that jazz. This is not the time for that. Okay. We'll do our best to serve you. All right. And then when it's done, we'll wire the money. You know, when the loan's done, we'll wire it to wherever your primary bank is. And then we're done. I'm hoping in the long term, the guild will get to you and you'll come back and let us serve you. But that's up to you.
Okay. Tom, I like your style, man. I like your style. I appreciate that.
Well, it's what credit unions do, my friend.
Yeah, that's great.
Now,
So
let me ask you a question. With a trucking company, do you have a lot of independent contractors, or do you have W-2 guys?
we have contractors for us.
Okay, so you do know that those individual contractors, that's what I thought, so I asked. Those contractors, those drivers have to apply on their own. You can only apply for your W-2 people. Did you know that?
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Very important.
What if the owner? If the owner is an independent contractor as well, how does that work?
Say that again.
If the owner is an independent contractor.
Yeah, like for example, you're running the business and you're working, or somebody's working for you that's running a truck or whatever, and you're sending money to a business and they're a 1099 independent business.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on them.
Okay.
Yeah, the government's only going to reimburse you for your payroll. So people that are on your books, people that are that you're doing their health care, their medical benefits, all that, their vacation, their PP, all that kind of stuff. Okay.
Okay.
The independent contractor guy, if you think about it, he's out there or she's out there doing the same thing you're doing for their business. They're going to apply to the government for their business to reimburse them for the income that they're getting from you.
Right. Got it.
Okay.
Got it. So now, if we were looking at, we're doing a little reading, of course, and notice that there's going to be there's becoming a shortage of truckers and of delivery folks in terms of expedited shipping across the country. And we want to get ourselves poised to take advantage of some of those things when the economy starts to gradually start turning around, which means that we might want to, in addition to independent contractors, purchase a couple of vehicles. Is that something that you can help us with?
Possibly. Absolutely.
Okay.
Devil's always in the detail, David,
Right. Yeah.
So sure. I mean, the answer is we want to help anybody. If if the financial condition of your business and the guy that you're trying to help and they've got some wherewithal and juice behind them, we'll help. Absolutely. But that's set separate from all this.
Right. Well, Mr. Gripe, thank you so much. I really appreciate all your great information.
Okay, hang in there, brother. Don't lose faith.
You do the same.
All righty. I know. For those of you that are out there, this doesn't necessarily have to do with a PPP loan. This is just for you individually or for your business. If you have existing loans out there, you probably have a car loan, maybe a mortgage, that type of thing, and you really feel the squeeze coming on, do not be shy to reach out to your current banker or your credit union or whoever, because every one of us has programs in place to give you loan deferrals. Now, everybody's different. I don't know how long, but for business loans, for our people who already are bankers with us, we can go banking with us. We'll do business loans out 5 months right out of the chute. And for individuals, like for a credit card loan, or if you have a credit card with us or a car loan or whatever, we'll give you, we call it skip-a-pay. You know that if you're with us, we'll postpone that or defer that 2 months or 3 months, just to buy you some time. Again, it doesn't make the loan go away, for us or anybody, but at least gives you breathing space. Think of it as kicking the can. And what I'm telling people is use that time to figure out how you're going to survive in this brave new world. It's all this stuff is doing is it hit us so hard, so fast. 1 minute we're eating at the restaurant and we're shoulder to shoulder with people in Costco and Martin's and Meijer. And now it's this. My God, your head's spinning, right? So think about post 8 weeks, and be thinking about that. And don't forget about your own personal debt. And, give yourself some cushion as much as you can. I've been incredibly impressed with the banking industry. I'm a credit union guy, so I'm a little cynical about the big banking industry. But I got to tell you, the industry as a whole, and really society as a whole, has really stepped up. I'm an old guy. I was here back in 2008, 2009. It was a lot different then. It's better today. It's still the shits. Don't get me wrong. It's terrible. But institutions and bankers and credit unions and landlords and everybody are much more accommodating, or attempting to be accommodating for as long as we possibly can. So that's the good news. And don't be shy about asking. The other thing somebody once told me is that when you're laying in bed at night and you can't sleep, you probably have nights like that. I know I am. Remember this: what's most personal is most universal. And what I mean by that is we all have that thing, that terrible fear you have, losing your business, losing your family, whatever it is, right? And you think it's all on you. What am I going to do if this happens? Take solace in knowing that there's billions and billions of us out there that are worrying the same way. Your problems are no different than mine. Mine are no different than yours. You have to breathe through it and realize that we're all going to survive. It'll be different, but maybe different's better. Different doesn't have to be worse. Do I have a question out there?
Hey, Tom, listen, I've been listening to you talk, and this is David once again.
Yes, sir.
And I just want you to know that whether or not I get a loan from your bank, I'm coming just to meet you and shake your hand. That's what I'm going to do.
So you like hanging around with characters, huh?
I have enjoyed you, my friend. I've enjoyed
Oh,
you.
all right. Thank you.
All right.